Welcome back to Faster See You Buddy. My name is Ryan. Today we're diving into the rumor mill. So stick around and I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to talk about a rumor that has been floating around here for about 12-14 hours, I think. I saw this on Reddit, but it looks like, if this is true, if you're seeing the image on the screen, that we might be getting a Mini Max, like a Mini Max version. And so I think that's pretty exciting. For as long as I've been in this hobby, I think there's probably like 3 things that I like the most about the RC hobby. Obviously, number 1 is driving the vehicles. Number 2 is making my own custom builds. And number 3 is when new products release, and that's what this video is going to be about. So let's dive into it. The Mini Max. I think for 2024, or at least from what I've been seeing, there's been this huge trend of going towards the mini scale, or the not so miniature scale like 1/28 or smaller, but kind of that medium, like in between, like the 1/12, 1/14, and 1/16, or even like 1/18. And it feels like this Mini Max is going to kind of fit within that same niche, where it's definitely going to be smaller than a 1/10, but not as small as like a 1/24. And this Mini Max, if I had to take a stab at it, I don't know, it's probably going to be like a 1/14 would be my guess. That's cut off the top of my head. I'm thinking like a 1/14 scale. But just looking at the picture here, so the very first thing I want to talk about that's immediately evident is these are full-size electronics for like a 1/10 scale vehicle. So we got the BL2S system here from Traxxas, waterproof ESC, BL2S motor. This is very interesting to me, and I think is probably, in my opinion, is a pretty welcome change. Like, it's cool when you get these smaller vehicles, but sometimes kind of a pain in the butt when you got to completely switch up your electronics. They're running smaller motors, smaller ESCs, you got to run different size batteries. I would imagine on this vehicle you still got to run a smaller battery pack, but I think it is pretty cool that it's running a 10 scale motor system. So I would imagine, for as small as this thing is, it's definitely going to have quite a punch when it comes to power and stuff like that. So that's pretty exciting. I would imagine, who knows how fast this thing's going to be out of the box, but I would bet that's quite a bit of torque for a small vehicle like that. So like I said, first thing, 10 scale electronics, I think that's very interesting. We've got a battery hold down here. I'm sure we'll have some upgrade options for that. As you know, of course, we can see we have a servo up here, a blue waterproof servo up front with a servo saver. Probably going to be, a standard Traxxas servo. I can't really tell from this picture because it's cut off, but it looks like it's probably a smaller version servo. We'll have to see when the specs actually come out. Looking at the shocks, it does look like some threaded body shocks with plastic caps. So we'll have to get more details on those. And then you can kind of see the tub chassis, very similar to the regular standard Max and the X Max, with the shock towers built into the chassis, which is pretty cool. Probably going to have some type of clipless body system here. You can see these ports dropping in for the body. And then you got the sledgehammer tires, which is interesting. Probably no adjustments on caster and toe and all that kind of stuff. Just going to be fixed camber, which is fine for bashers like that. And then if we scroll down, let's go ahead and take a look here at the body. You can kind of barely see this. It actually does say Mini Max, so that's interesting. It's kind of cool. Like I said, the whole trend with like the ARMA Groms and the different variation of the Groms they come out with, seems like RC is kind of going into that smaller realm, which is pretty cool to see. So Mini Max, I think it's very interesting. Definitely looks like a Max type vehicle. If we're thinking about like competitors, obviously this is going to be a competitor for the ARMA Grom. But I also think this kind of directly goes against like the Traxxas Teton vehicle and some of their other smaller products they got. This thing, if I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be anywhere from the realm of, I would say probably 150 to 200 be my guess on the price on this thing. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on this thing. As always, this is probably like the second time I've talked about like a rumored Traxxas. And the big thing I'll say, like I said, like way months ago when I talked about the Max Slash, the biggest thing for me, like every time vehicles get released like this, especially on the Traxxas side, at least for myself, like since I have a lot of Traxxas, I like new vehicle releases, not so much saying that I'm going to go out and buy the new vehicle, but I really get interested for the new parts that get released with the vehicle, and then potentially, making my own Frankenstein version of this type of truck or something else. So just for that, I think it's pretty cool to see. But what do you guys think? Go ahead and comment down below, like, subscribe if you guys like this kind of content, if you want to see more. I might have another video coming out about this type of stuff for another vehicle. We'll see. But I think this Mini Maxx is very interesting. It's something I'm going to definitely keep an eye on. And not sure if I'll buy one, but I'm definitely going to be curious to see it released. So that's all I got, guys. Go ahead and like, subscribe, go ahead and comment, tell me what you think about this truck, and I'll see you on the next video.